Okay, so every once in a while I get into the mood to play an old school 80's fantasy CRPG. That's computer role playing game. Think Skyrim, but an actual role playing game instead of a button mashing action it whatever. Skyrim. Anyway, this particular time, I think it was triggered because I saw the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, and I kind of ended up seeing some, gaming videos. And when this usually happens, I usually either play, Wizardry, one of the Wizardry series, or the Ultimate series, and I'm pretty much busy for a couple of months as I go through that. But I've already gone through those. Okay. Back in dinosaur days of computers or video games, when the Wizardry series came out, the Ultima series came out, and then eventually the Might and Magic series came out, each of the series had their own fan base, which considered that series the better series or the superior series. I'm sure you can relate, Xbox and, what's that other one? PlayStation, I think. Anyway. But, I'm probably going to get in trouble for, I wonder where I'm leaning on that. Anyway. But, back then, it was like, you played Wizardry, and you played Ultima, and you played Might and Magic, but you end up having your favorites. Like, you had which series was your, core base series? Mine was always Wizardry, but I played Ultima, and I played a little bit of Might and Magic, like 1 and 2, because I didn't really like 3 and on, because the art was just too goofy for me to take seriously. I mean, I like the gameplay, but anyway. I digress. I ramble. Leave me alone. So, because I've already played the Wizardry series enough times, and I've already played the Ultima series enough times. Oh yeah, there was also Bard's Tale, but by the time Bard's Tale tried to have like a core fan base, but it was like only three issues, 3 games, and it was just basically a Wizardry ripoff anyway. But yeah, there was Bard's Tale, but that wasn't really that big a deal. So I usually played Wizardry. I've already played the Ultima. I haven't played Might and Magic in a while. So I figured, okay, I'll do the Might and Magic thing. And as the title of this video establishes, a funny thing happened while I was playing an 80's old school CRPG game. Much like the rest of you during this situation, wanting to be as informed as the next guy, I've been watching, just probably as much, if not more, YouTube as everybody else. I kind of noticed something while I was playing Might and Magic 1. I'm kind of like going, oh shoot, I forgot, I gotta check to see this type of videos. I get to about like 30 seconds to a minute into the video, and I'm going, yeah, okay, I don't give a rat's ass. Back to the game. Like, my YouTube viewing has been reduced to like maybe 3 to 4% of what it was before I started playing Might and Magic 1. The other funny thing I noticed, and again, this was such a contrast in regards to the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo that kind of triggered this. The graphics pretty much don't exist, okay? It's mostly, it's a hub, right? But it's got all the text and everything. And instead of the only graphics are like images of the monsters you're fighting, okay? 8-bit, image, right? Here's the weird thing that I noticed. The lack of graphic capabilities did not in any way hinder the gameplay. Like, again, I played Skyrim. I enjoyed the graphics of Skyrim, and Witcher 3 and all those, and GTA and all that stuff. But not having even close to even any moving graphics, animated graphics, it did not diminish the gameplay of the game. Now, I understand that's probably confusing to you because it doesn't make any sense, but for those of you who play Dungeons and Dragons, think about it. None of you, like when you guys play D&D, because again, I'm a turn-based fanboy. Most of the 90% of the games I play are all turn-based. When you play Dungeons and Dragons, for those of you who play Dungeons and Dragons, there's no graphics. It's just you and the DM and you and the other player simply exchanging, your actions and the information pretty much the exact same way that you do in these 80s CRPG games. So you are literally losing nothing game-wise. But here was the funny thing. Here's the other thing that I also noticed. It was like, I had forgotten that you have to map. Okay? I've forgotten that you have, as an example. Okay? Oh yeah, right, the graph. Okay, this, you have to map each of the towns. Can you even see this? Hold on. You have to map each of the towns. You have to map the world. You have to map. The world. You have to map. Oh yeah. You have to map each of the dungeons. I forgot you had to do that. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, oh jeez, okay. I'll play the first town. I'll map the first town, get it out of my system, and probably play play around in the first town and then get out of my system. Map the first town, and I'm going, well, okay, there's a dungeon. I gotta map the dungeon. Let me at least check the dungeon. So I checked the dungeon, I mapped the dungeon, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, there's an actual portal to the other towns. So I figured, okay, let me just check out the other. And I went from, one town to it's like, screw this, thank God I have graph paper. Okay, because the reason I have graph paper is because, okay, I play Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I know most of you are going, why would you need graph paper to play Dungeons and Dragons? Well, you see, I play OD&D. I play original Dungeons and Dragons, which means you have to map the dungeons, which is why I can do all this. And most of you are looking at going, I'm not going to do that. Somebody actually went to me, a friend of mine actually said, why don't you just go online and just get the maps? And I went, okay, first of all, it was like, I didn't actually think about that. But the second one was, that's not how you play the game. Playing, the 80s old school CRPGs, mapping is part of the game involves exploration and discovery. Well, that's the whole point of doing the maps, because you're exploring. It's not just I don't know, landscape that you just walk across. It's every area is necessary, because again, this small game, right? Well, not a small game. I'm already at like 30 goddamn maps, right? But I meant like a small program. And you actually get invested in the game. This is the other thing I kind of noticed, I guess. One of the reasons the Ultima series, the Might and Magic series, and I don't mean Heroes of Might and Magic. That's a whole other, animal. The Ultimate series, the Wizardry series, is the core fan base got spent so much time invested into the game that it simply carried over into the next one in the series. Like, I love, because again, you have to understand, in these old school games, because you have to literally map everything that yes, of course you can go online, but I'm talking about back in dinosaur ages, right? Dinosaur times. These games, I always used to laugh hearing about how a certain game has like 40 to 60 hours of game time. And it's like, dude, Wizardry 1 and 2, okay, not so much Ultima 1, but like Ultima 2 and 3 sucked. Like, and Might and Magic, they required, like, you didn't measure those games in hours. You measured them in weeks, okay, if not months, depending on how addicted you were to the game, right? I mean, and I'm not talking like Skyrim, 10 years, playing the same game over and over again, only you're just using different mods. I'm talking the same game, playing it through once, and taking months just to get through the one game. By the time you were done, Might and Magic 1, Might and Magic 2 was, about to be for sale in about a month. Same thing with Wizardry, same thing with Ultima. Like, by the time you almost finished the game, the next game was gonna be on sale. That type of investment and commitment into a series is really, like, again, GTA, yeah, but again, there's not that many people that are playing GTA now who even give a rat's ass about the first two. Okay, the first one was mostly overhead view, and it wasn't really anywhere close. 2 on, basically. But, the Assassin's Creed is just simply the same. Assassin's Creed's a pretty good example. But again, you get invested. It was just weird being so invested in the game that is something that I can't really get, or it doesn't really seem to be relevant in today's games. Now, this is not meant to be a video about, the games back then in dinosaur times are better than the games they are now. That's not what this video is, because that's already established. That's goddamn plain obvious. Okay? It's absolutely already understood that games from the 80s and 90s have way more superior gameplay or gameplay aspects or game mechanics or fun aspect than games do now. Okay? That's absolutely understood. Okay? Because most of the only thing gamers nowadays value is the graphics. Okay? As long as the graphics are cool, the game's cool. Okay? It's already been established how gameplay, because back in the 80s and 90s, you had to sell the game based on its gameplay. Today, you don't sell a game based on its gameplay. You sell a game based on its graphics. That by default, it's already established that games from the 80s and 90s are superior games to today's. Okay? That's not what this video is about. It was just really cool playing, because I only ever played Might and Magic 1, like, not even all the way through, right? And it was interesting. It was interesting noticing all these things. Probably why I haven't been really making any videos lately, or because, my God, I saw Stargirl, and it's like it's taking away from my game time. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to, I don't know, probably want to make videos on Might and Magic, but again, nobody watches my videos, probably nobody. But if by sheer chance anybody actually sees this video, actually even got this far. Out of curiosity, anybody out there actually played Might and Magic 1 or 2 or any of the old, Wizardry and Ultima games? And I'll even grant Bard's Tale, even though it wasn't really that good anyway. But yeah, it was interesting. It's fun playing, and the best part is because there's water, you get the color the blue, and it's like, oh, my pencil got freaking pencil got green for the forest. I got a blue one around here for the water. Yeah, goddamn coloring it, whatever. Anyway, I'm around 7th level now. Just finding a shield +2 is just, oh my god, thank you. I am going to, that's one of the great things I like about this game, or again the old school, is that you don't have everything handed to you, and that when you actually do get something half decent, it actually has significance. But anyway, that's it for me. I'm out of here. I got a Minotaur stronghold to deal with. I'm out of here. See ya.